Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, welcome to all of you here in the Bode Museum. Dear guests from abroad and outside, welcome to Berlin. Welcome to all who join us now on the live stream of the award ceremony for the Einstein Foundation Award for promoting quality in research. We are here at the Bode Museum in the center of Berlin, and we are looking forward to meet the 2023 awardees in the categories Early Career, Institutional and Individual Award who are here with us tonight. Most welcome. In November 2023, it was an international jury who deliberated and made the decision to award these awards to you. So don't be puzzled if we constantly talk about the 2023 award. This is not a time paradox in the Einstein sense. So it is because we wanted you to be here and to give us the time to prepare something for you that made us make the decision to move this award ceremony to Einstein's birthday. For all of those outside who are interested in becoming nominated for the 2024 award, the call is still open till April 13th. But now is the time to celebrate you. And I'm particularly happy that, as I said, it was an international jury who made the decision. And the quality of this award that is about quality depends on the quality of the jury that we were able to invite and to gather. And this is why I'm particularly happy that I can welcome the president of our current jury, dear Marcia McNutt. Welcome. Let me say, first of all, a few words, dear Marcia. Marcia McNutt is the president of the National Academy of Science of the United States since 2016. And she started out as a geophysicist at MIT, and her research field was and is oceanography and applied ocean science, a difficult word for German. This expertise took her to more than a dozen deep-sea expeditions. And I think we have two veterans of deep-sea expeditions here. Where is Antti Boetius? I think the two of you must have met somewhere in the Arctic outside. But Marcia is not, that gives you an impression that Marcia is not only a dedicated scientist, but she is also interested in the application, and as she was director from 2009 to 2013 of the United States Geological Survey, she also dealt with earthquake situations and famously or notoriously with the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. From 2020, you were also editor-in-chief of the science journals, and this brings us also to the topic of tonight, because in publication, it's also quality assurance and checks and balances and quality control that matters. So as an editor, as a head of a national academy, but also as an expert who was involved in dealing with practical solutions, Marcia knows exactly how influential science is and what is at stake once quality is contested. Dear Marcia, your commitment to improving research quality and to the award is a great gift to all of us, and I'm very happy to welcome you on behalf of the Einstein Foundation, and I ask you now on stage. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Torsten, for that wonderful introduction. I think that introduction may be longer than my remarks, but I know I speak on behalf of the entire jury in congratulating the 2023 winners. It was an amazing group of proposals, and these tireless jury members basically worked throughout the year, first of all, encouraging nominations of worthy people, but getting someone else to nominate them so that we don't be conflicted. And then once we had all of the nominees, the wonderful staff at the Einstein Foundation went through to make sure that everyone was eligible for the award that they were being given. And then each individual nomination is read by several members of the jury and given a rating. Once we have all those ratings in, we take to the top of the list the very best nominations in each of the categories. And then we all get together in a big Zoom call to discuss each of the nominees, to do subsequent voting and come up with our winners. Now, when you understand that the jury members range everywhere from India to Europe to Eastern North America and Western North America, you can imagine that there were a lot of people up really early in the morning or up really late at night in order to make these selections. But I have to say personally, it is so uplifting and so inspiring to read the nominations. These are incredible people. I wish we could give out 10 times the number of awards, but just know that those that you will be honoring tonight literally were the best of the best, and we're really excited to tell you more about their work. So thank you.
Yeah, now is the moment that we want to see and learn something of you and about you, and we come to the moment where we celebrate the winners. And we have 3 categories, as we pointed out earlier. The first category, the winner of the Early Career Award, is Anne Gärtner, who is sitting here with us. Dear Anne, congratulations. So why an Early Career Award? I think it is very important for all those who are responsible for the award. This is Marcia, this is Uli Dirnagel, who sits here as the award secretary, that the award gives out a signal also to the younger generation to say, thinking about quality is not something that you reserve for your later stage of your career. It's not easy to fight against fraud in science. It's not easy to ask difficult questions about the quality, as we will learn in the movie that we produced for you, dear Anna. And this is why we want to encourage the younger generation with this Early Career Award to say, if we want to take serious the quality question in research, we need the younger generation, and we need them urgently. And Anne Gärtner belongs to the brave ones, who does not shy away from the big quality questions. She's postdoctoral researcher at the Department of Psychology at Dresden University of Technology and winner of the Early Career Award 23. And before I ask her on stage, we will have a look at the video we produced about you, dear Anna.
As a PhD student, I tried to replicate a famous model in cognitive psychology, and I failed. I thought it was my fault and that I should maybe even cancel my PhD studies because I am a bad scientist. But after months and years and discussions with my colleagues, I learned that others were also not able to replicate their findings or their models. We now see that there is a credibility or replication crisis where we can see that our results are not reproducible. They are not trustworthy enough. The worst case would be that the society loses faith in academia. Our initiative seeks to address this problem by proposing a more holistic, actionable evaluation framework, which we call the RESCUE framework. It stands for Research Quality Evaluation, including a free online assessment tool that is currently under development, where candidates are able to rate their research outputs according to several criteria. For example, diverse academic contributions should be valued, so not just publications, but also datasets and research software developments. There seems to be a growing consensus in academia that quality, transparency, and reproducibility should be valued over mere impact and quantity. Meta science is a field that is done in parallel to the other research questions that I try to answer. And there were even people saying that I should not pursue those meta science research questions on open and reproducible science because it would lead more or less to some sort of career suicide. I have the feeling that when I'm doing the work that I'm doing, I am part of the change and I can contribute to the change. When I got the news that I was selected for the award, as an emotion researcher, I monitored the changes in my body. I noticed that my heartbeat raised and that I got some sweaty hands because I was very excited. The Einstein Foundation Award for promoting quality in research is the first of its kind worldwide. We definitely need more initiatives and especially awards like this to show others that it's not a career suicide to do open science, and also that we overcome the replication crisis.
Diana. Marcia wird jetzt noch was lesen und dann kriegen Sie die Trophäe.
So allow me to read the citation for the Early Career Research Einstein Foundation Award. Anne Gärtner's Responsible Research Assessment Initiative tackles a key issue in the ongoing credibility crisis in science, prioritizing quantity over quality, which is the criteria we have now for funding, hiring, and promotion. These are what we have to change. Her project aims to develop criteria that will acknowledge and incentivize rigorous research practices and has potential to provide a model that can be used across multiple academic disciplines. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm deeply honored and grateful for receiving this award, and it really means a lot to me because, especially in the light of the current challenges for early career researchers, they often feel the pressure to publish a lot and to prioritize quantity over quality. The Einstein Foundation the Einstein Foundation's emphasis on shifting the incentives in academia from prioritizing for prioritizing quality over quantity comes very timely and is very crucial. So I really want to express my deepest gratitude to the Einstein Foundation and to the jury for selecting this project and for recognizing its value and for advocating more responsible research assessment. And of course, I would like to thank my colleagues and my team who supported me very much, especially Felix Schönbrot, who evoked my passion for open and reproducible science, and also Daniel Leising and Annalena Schubert, and my team in Dresden, Alex Strobel, Christoph Scheffel, and Josephine Zerner for their support. And of course, I also would like to thank my family and my fiancé for being there and for accompanying me through all the ups and downs in my scientific career. So thank you very much.
Yeah, the second category that is important to the award and to the jury is this one. "2001: A Space Odyssey," isn't it? the institutional award. We know that institutions matter, not only in politics, as we realize by now in Germany, in the United States, but institutions also matter in academia and in science, because they are able to transform the dedication of individuals to the next generation. But this comes with a price. Not only, as we just learned from you, Anna, that meta science needs an individual effort because someone says, oh, come on, that could be career suicide. But those who dedicate their energy not only to meta science, but to an institution also have to take into account that institution building is the hardest thing to do in academia. Because it distracts you from your own research, you're very much absorbed with all the other things that come along with institution building. The winner of the 2023 award is the Berkeley Initiative for Transparency in the Social Science, and it was initiated already in 2012. That means for already 12 years, you guys and ladies have been working and building up a network that strengthens the quality debate in the social sciences. And by the way, those who always thought that it's only about the life science problems and crisis of reproducibility, you impressively have shown that the questions of quality matter as much as in the life science, also in the world of the social sciences. And we are happy to have Edward Miguel and Carsten Cristiano here as the representative of the Berkeley Initiative tonight, who came from California, Berkeley, to receive the Institutional Award 2023. And now we see the video we produced for you. Most welcome.
Our research in the social sciences is often very close to public policy. I'm a development economist. I've been working for over 20 years on topics around poverty and economic growth in African countries. And on many occasions, I've seen the influence that my own research has had or that colleagues' research has had on policies that can really affect millions of lives. 10 to 15 years ago, several major studies in different social science fields were found not to be able to replicate. They were found to have fundamental flaws. In some cases, they were even found to be full of fraud. This is no joke. Social science research and scientific research more broadly shapes human societies. And when researchers are doing work that can't be replicated, when they're doing work that isn't valid, they're really betraying their obligation to the public. And it was really that crisis and those scandals that came out that provided some of the motivation for the early meetings of the BITS network. The Berkeley Initiative for Transparency in the Social Sciences, BITS, is something a bit different than other institutions. We brought together economists, psychologists, biostatisticians, and political scientists. And from the start, we were determined to learn from each other and learn about the challenges in our fields and to provide a forum for the most exciting new research on open science. We see our work as taking the next step in the credibility revolution, going beyond the statistical models to study the whole scientific process and making sure that all sides of it are done with the utmost integrity. We hope to train the next generation of scholars to value those principles and embrace them in their work so that the next generation will make sure that open science is at the center of their science rather than just being an afterthought. And organizations like the Einstein Foundation have been so important in supporting this community and inspiring this community to work together. It's really become the leading award recognizing progress in research transparency and integrity globally. We believe that as long as the next generation changed their attitudes and understood the value of open science and research transparency, then our science would change for the better.
Congratulations, winner of the institutional award.
So now I'll read the citation for the Einstein Institutional Award. The Berkeley Initiative for Transparency in the Social Sciences is leading a transformation in the worldwide research culture by advocating for rigor, reproducibility, and openness in social science practices. They achieve this through educating open science practice, building the digital infrastructure, conducting meta-research, and translating open science practices to policy analysis. Congratulations.
Thank you so much to the Einstein Foundation for believing in us at BITS and for trusting us with this very unique and very important award. I guess this is just the third year, so we're extremely honored to be here and to be enjoying Berlin for the first time. Turns out that changing research norms and practices is really hard, but we're doing it, and it's, something's working, and it's not going to stop. We're not going back. And so I'm really excited to see what we can do with the support that we're receiving. I want to thank all of our colleagues back in Berkeley, our amazing team at BITS, and actually everyone who's participated in the BITS community that we've been building over the last 12 years. So students that have come to our trainings, people that have come to speakers and participants at all of our events. This is really, it's a community effort, and we're just so honored to be a part of it.
Again, just echoing what Carson said, thanks so much to the whole community. It's such an honor to be associated with the foundation. The foundation is playing such a leading role in the open science community globally. Of course, Albert Einstein stood for so much, not just research excellence, but his humanity, his love of humanity, his integrity as a person is something so incredible. So to be associated with his legacy is an incredible honor for us. And as Carson said, we really look forward to working on this challenge going forward globally. And that's one of the things we've tried to do at BITS is work on training courses and tools for people to use everywhere, not just in Berlin or Berkeley, but really around the world. And that's our mission, and we'll keep working on it with your support. So thank you very much.
Yeah, now we come to the category of the individual award. Do we get another movie? It was only on February 15, 2024, this year, that you could read in The Guardian, British newspaper, quote, "A genetics journal from a leading scientific publisher has retracted 18 papers from China in what is thought to be the biggest mass retraction of academic research due to concerns about human rights," unquote. It had become clear by then that there was not sufficient evidence that the individuals whose genetic material had been used in the studies had given their consent. Research quality is not only a question of exact data, it is also a question of trust in ethical standards. And the man we are honored to welcome tonight as our winner of the individual award, Yves Moreau, is a one-man quality assurance unit when it comes to the question of research integrity in the most sensitive area of using genetic data. It was because of Yves Moreau first raised concerns already in 2021 that these papers had been retracted. Now we see the movie.
I'm really an engineer. I love cracking hard problems. Then I realized, I like working with data from patients. I like the idea that behind the data, there is a real person. There is, however, a number of ethical requirements. My focus has been on forensic genetics, where you get research that gets presented as extremely beneficial. We're going to catch murderers, we're going to catch rapists. And then you discover that in some circumstances, these technologies can be part of systems of mass surveillance and social control. You have a crime scene and you collect some biological material that contains DNA, and then you want to try to check whether a suspect matches that DNA sample. Or you have a database of criminals and you want to see whether anyone in that database would match what you found at the crime scene. It has been proposed, we're going to solve crime by putting everybody in such a law enforcement DNA database. And at that point, it goes beyond its typical law enforcement goals, and it goes into a mode of surveillance of the entire population. A lot of people might feel comfortable with this idea. I do not. We need to reflect and decide, what is this technology for? History tells us that, yes, we do have to worry about these things, that over the course of a couple decades, things can change substantially. And so we need to constantly push back against this trend of more and more surveillance. So I have recently obtained a very important set of retractions, 18 papers that got retracted from one journal for lack of proper ethical requirements. There's still 70 papers that are being considered for ethical reassessment, so I need to work on that further. And I think this award is special in the sense that there is really nothing quite like it elsewhere in the world.
Thank you very much.
I very much want people to contribute to genetic research. I want them to have trust, and the award is a very important piece in that regard, because the scientific establishment is dedicated, is committed to actually respecting ethical principles. We want to protect the privacy of everyone, to actually protect the privacy of those who really need it the most.
I hope you'll all bear with me if I give you the long version of his citation. So human history is replete with examples of persecution of groups of people who don't look, speak, act, or worship the same as those in power. I think back to the enslavement of Africans beginning in the 16th century, or the displacement of indigenous tribes in the Americas and Australia, or the annihilation of Jews during the Holocaust. We like to think that we are all much more enlightened now, but persecution of those considered different still continues today, as those in authority look for scapegoats to blame for problems that those groups never created, or to distract the public from what are the real issues. With the advent of DNA testing, the opportunities for persecution rise to a whole new level. Someone need not look, speak, act, or worship differently from you to be viewed as undesirable or a lesser human being just because of their genetic code. To counter this dystopian future, Yves Moreau, a bioinformatician from the Catholic University in Leuven, wages a one-man crusade against the unauthorized use of DNA and population surveillance to manage, control, and further persecute the vulnerable populations, particularly the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, and the Huis in China. And he also has averted the extension of this sort of mass surveillance to other nations such as Kuwait. He has flagged about 100 papers publicly reporting the personal genetic information from groups of people who never gave their consent to the use of their personal information. He has succeeded in getting a large number of these papers retracted by the journals. He additionally noted that many of the author teams of these flawed papers included professionals from law enforcement and the security services, further underscoring the potential for misuse of this personal information. So for selfless efforts to promote human rights in the era of DNA profiling, the Einstein Foundation is pleased to present Yves Moreau with its top award for an individual researcher. I know I speak for all members of the jury in saying how inspired we were to read your story and your accomplishments and follow your crusade to help those who don't have the power to stand up for themselves. In closing, my dream is that this recognition by the Einstein Foundation of Dr. Moreau will incentivize those journals that are still dragging their feet about retracting flawed papers. Researchers must be held accountable for the ethical norms of science, and we are all grateful for Dr. Moreau's efforts to do that. Yes.
Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, ich möchte der Einstein Stiftung für diese Auszeichnung herzlich danken, ebenso wie der Dampf Stiftung und dem Senat von Berlin. I would also like to thank the jury and the other partners of the Einstein Foundation for this award. I would like to share this recognition with my collaborators at Human Rights Watch, as well as with my academic collaborators, the many talented journalists I had the opportunity to work with, the Uyghurs and Tibetan activists who've been pushing this issue forward. I would like to express my gratitude to the Nature editorial team for several bold editorial choices. I would like to dedicate this recognition to the tens of Uyghur academics that are currently unjustly imprisoned. And finally, I would like to thank my wonderful wife for her support over many years where it was like I was chasing at windmills.
Geht ihr noch mal alle von der Bühne ab? And now, before we will have all the winners at the same time here on stage, as I said in the beginning, this is about 2023, but we shouldn't end this celebration of the award and its ambition without looking into the future. And for this, I would like to ask one man here on the stage, without whom the whole idea of this award and without whose dedication to this award we wouldn't be here tonight. This is, dear Uli Dirnagel, please come up here. This is your moment. Uli Dirnagel is the director of the BIH Quest Center, which is he is also an institution builder in the field of meta research and in the field of quality. And this is why he was the ideal person as a partner, BIH Quest Center, as a partner for the Einstein Foundation, but Uli Dirnagel as the ideal person to become the secretary of the award. We talked about 23, i.e. the past. I want to ask you, Uli, what are the plans for the award for the future? What it is you are striving for?
Well, thank you very much. I guess the main vision is to have a prize that has a name recognition that maybe not as the Nobel, but close to the Nobel, because I think that's very important, and I think you have seen it throughout the whole ceremony, that this is about recognition of practices that improve science, and so we want to become even more well known about this. But more concretely, I think one very important aspect is that this whole endeavor is a global one, and we have heard about BITS, that it has this global reach already. We have heard about Yves' work that reaches out to countries beyond our comfort zones, but I think the world is even bigger, and so there are so many relevant things going on in the positive and in the negative in countries of the global south, in Asia-Pacific region. Just to give you one sort of fact which many people don't know, and that is that South America has its publication system, its academic publication system, is run as a what we here call a diamond open access venture, meaning basically 70% of the publications there are diamond open access, which means it's a publication system that is completely controlled and run by the academic societies and the academics, and is not kind of under the control or run as a for-profit venture. And we're seeing lots of problems here in this country or in these countries. And it's what I want to say with this is that there are so many activities which we can learn from in those areas. So I think one important step is to become more global. And what we have done so far is that our jury, and we had the greatest jury so far, I mean, under the presidency of first Dieter Imboden and now Marcia McNutt, I think they did just the absolutely perfect job. But we have now also invited into the jury some members from these countries so that they have a seat at the table. And I'm very much looking forward to the next generation of winners, and maybe we can celebrate them in 1 year from.
Uli, what I particularly enjoy is the debate with you about the difficulty of tackling problems, but I'm always inspired by your optimism about solutions. And I think this is what the award is about. It's not about highlighting problems, but showing that there are solutions, and the solutions are here in the room. And we looked into the past, you looked into the future. Very nearby, there is the graveyard where one of the famous Berlin sons, the German-American philosopher Herbert Marcuse, is buried. And on his graveyard, there is one word, and it says, weitermachen. Uli, thank you. And and now, as a wonderful final scene, I would like to ask all the winners, and Uli, you have to come back, I'm sorry. Martin Rennert, lieber Herr Wegner, liebe Frau Ciborra, lieber Herr Wöben, für ein gemeinsames Foto for a final scene here up on the stage. And these are the pictures that allow us to say goodbye to all those in the live stream. Thank you for joining us outside. 14th of March 2025, we meet again, maybe here, maybe elsewhere, but definitely to celebrate next year's winners. So bye-bye, and please So, und das ist jetzt wirklich das letzte Mal, dass ich mich zwischen Sie und was Leckeres dränge. Gleich kommt der Nachtisch, aber nicht bevor wir uns noch einmal ganz herzlich bedankt haben. Bei Ihnen allen dafür, dass Sie heute Abend hier waren, aber auch bei denen, die als Partner die Einstein-Stiftung in diesem Preis unterstützen. Das BIH Quest Center habe ich schon genannt. Nature und PLOS sind Partner, die Max-Planck-Förderstiftung, die Berlin University Alliance. Ich möchte all unseren Jurymitgliedern und dem Awards Committee danken, aber auch 2 Personen, die im Team der Einstein-Stiftung sehr lange, ein ganzes Jahr auf diesen Abend hingearbeitet haben. Einmal unsere Kollegin, die den Abend für Sie organisiert hat, Marie-Therese Schulte, und dann das Herzstück unseres Awards Office, des Maschinenraums, wo die Arbeit, die Auswahl, die Vorauswahl, die Kommunikation geleistet wird. Liebe Ulrike Panasch, ganz, ganz herzlichen Dank. Ohne Sie wäre der Award nicht das, was er ist. Ihnen allen wünsche ich noch einen schönen Abend bei angeregter Konversation und beim Nachtisch. Und man hat mir gesagt, der Nachtisch ist so gedacht, dass Sie jetzt aufstehen dürfen oder müssen, um an den ranzukommen. Und Sie können mingeln. Einen schönen Abend noch.